Welcome back, everyone, all 51 of you that watched the last episode, if you watch this one, to Behind the Photo. Today we have my good friend, Alyssa, sometimes known as Ashley, Alyssa Allmon on, and we have Bubbler, again, not the kind that she apparently wanted, but the kind she told me.
No, this is fine. I'm excited to try a new kind live.
Even though she has a little bit of a past with Bubbler, but we won't dive into that.
We don't want to hurt the brand.
Today. So, do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay. It's my show.
It is your show.
All right. Here's my first one. Not at all a great photo or anything like that, but it was the very first photo that I took with a camera. So if you watched the last episode, I got my first camera sophomore for Christmas. And I took this photo at Brickyard Park, so it's like 5 minutes that way. And it was the first photo that I shot, edited, and said, this is a good photo. This is a photo that is actually good. Like, I could put this in a coffee shop.
There you go.
And so...
Hotel art.
Exactly.
I get it.
So... It's pretty bad now looking back at it, but it was the first photo that I said I could print this in a coffee shop and it would not look bad.
And people would, it's thought-provoking.
Somewhat.
It's an empty bench in front of a lake. I've been listening to true crime podcasts, so I'm thinking like, oh, who was sitting there before they maybe went missing? Who was sitting there when they were like... maybe about to be, attacked. Kidnapped. Any of
maybe
the
someone was kidnapped, and that's why I shot the photo.
True crime junkies, join in. But
I watched Netflix documentaries over podcasts, but yeah.
Okay. Well,
same thing.
Well, I also am starting off with my weakest photo, I would say.
Is that Hawaii?
No, this is not Hawaii. This is actually in Pensacola, Florida. So we have really good friends who live down there, and we do like an annual friend trip. And I chose this photo because it was #shot on iPhone. I kind of joke about that, but also if you can make a photo look really good on iPhone, that just makes me feel good because it means I get the general gist of what making
you get the creative part executed.
Yeah, and I was driving around on the beach, obviously I didn't have my mirrorless camera with me. I don't even think I had my mirrorless camera yet. And so we were driving up and down the coast of Navarre Beach. I think we were actually in Navarre, and there's this song that I'm obsessed with called Pink Skies, and it's just a vibe, and we were listening to it, and this was the scene, and so I made them pull over, and I staged the shot, and then I have 5 or 6 different edits because I was trying to figure out how to get the pink to come through.
Yeah.
And so this one to me felt the most natural, but also the most artistic, and it has been my phone screen ever since.
Still is
my phone screen because I just think it's a vibe when you look at it. And so every time I open it, I am back in Florida. I'm back on the beach. And that's where we all want to be these days.
Preferably, yeah. But instead we're in...
downtown Hastings.
Yeah.
Okay, next up.
Okay. Let's see. Which one do I want to do here? I'll do this one. I'll save the good stories for last.
Same, that's what I'm doing.
So this one... is a shot of my friend Tim. He's a guitar player, obviously. And this was the cheapest light ever. My dad took over a teaching job for senior literature at Adams Central 4 years ago. And these were the lights that were left in the room. Nice. And they still worked. And there's only 2 bulbs out of the 4 left in them, but...
it worked.
It was all I had. So... I really like this photo not only because it's such hard contrast. So this was in the auditorium at Adams Central, and I love the black and white version of it. But hearing live music while taking photos was such an interesting experience where I was enjoying what he was doing because he's really good at playing the guitar, and he was playing these songs, and it was just really cool to be able to listen to live. I love live music, whether it's a concert or a restaurant or whatever. So listening to that and enjoying what he was doing while also providing value to him by shooting these photos of him was really cool. And he sounded great. By the end of it, I was like, you got anything else? He's like, I've literally played everything I know on the guitar, and you're still shooting photos. So I was like, okay, yeah, we can wrap it up. Yeah. So that was just kind of a cool experience to be able to actually like shoot a model, and they were providing value to me. Like, it was super cool to hear that and shoot them. And I always want to shoot a concert, so
it is so much fun, as you will see in my upcoming photo.
Uh-oh.
Well, actually, not my upcoming photo, one of them. Okay, so my next photo is of actually my little brother. So this is Trevor. There's like a few reasons why I like this photo. So, technically speaking,
yes.
Technically speaking, this is a great photo because you've got the rule of thirds going on. He's dead center. He's completely in focus, and the background is not in focus. The ball's in the photo, which, hot debate, does the ball have to be in the shot for a sports photo?
No, but I know a lot of sports photographers that I follow that are like NFL photographers always say eyes on the ball. It's like,
yes.
I beg to differ, but
I think if the emotion is in the photo and the ball isn't, who cares? Like your last photo, or in the football photo last week, there wasn't a football in it, but there was an athlete with his face.
If it's just them standing there without a ball and without any emotion, then it's
yes.
bad.
So in everyone's world, I'm in the right in this photo because I have my brother and the ball.
Objectively, it is a good photo.
Yes, objectively, state journalism might call this a good photo. We'd have to see.
Yeah, okay.
And then subjectively, so my little brother is 16, and loves basketball. Like, I'd say it's probably one of his favorites. And I had never gotten to shoot him before. I've shot my little sister Taylor at state volleyball. And so I've had like kind of a portfolio going for her. And so this was the first and last time I ever got to shoot Trevor. And so it was actually one of those things where I almost completely missed it. Like, I thought I had time in the fourth quarter to go shoot, and I didn't. Like,
we were too busy talking.
We were talking in the back room about photos. So I was like, oh my gosh, I need to go out there and shoot. And so coincidentally, and by the grace of God, I got like 10 or 15 really great photos of him. So I love that because, I don't know, in my family, we're all about like everything has to be very equal. And so I'm very happy that I got a photo of him because it was also my last day at Strive. So had I not gotten these photos on the court in a big arena of him, there never would have been any. So I'm very glad I got them. He's only a sophomore, so obviously, like, hopefully I get to shoot him again in some manner. But this was like a one and done. Like, I had to get it or it wasn't going to get got. And so I got it.
And it is objectively state journalism worthy.
And it is objectively, you can't argue, it's a good photo. Whether it was my little brother or Joe Schmo from Hastings.
Fair. All right, let's see. We'll go with this one. So this is also hashtag shot on iPhone.
Okay, this one intrigued me. I was very intrigued by this one.
So obviously it's one of my greatest photos, empty lunch meat. I mean, what other subject matter do you really need? But so this was 2 or 3 days after the world shut down.
I knew it. I knew it was a COVID photo. I knew it.
And I was going, I don't remember what I went to Walmart for. I think it was Oreos for my old podcast that I did. I don't remember what it was exactly. But I went to Walmart, and I have never, ever seen something so like apocalypse like.
It was wild.
And so I went to Walmart, and I was just looking in the grocery, and there's just nothing. There's another photo I have of like the milk, the fridge. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And so this was just a photo that I took and posted on the Don Dev Show Twitter account way back in the day. It was like a pandemic,
Rip.
It was just crazy. If you walked in the toilet paper aisle, like it was basically, there was no aisle because everything was gone. And so I just took this photo kind of leading you that way. I was just...
Leading lines. Again.
Yeah, but it was just like a quick photo because everyone was looking at me because I didn't have a mask on, so it was a whole big thing. But literally, you cannot see, like, there's
There's nothing.
One thing of meat, and then.
And it's like the Oscar Mayer Wiener brand of hot dogs, which everyone knows is the worst.
So yeah, that was fully stocked. Everything else was just gone, and it was just crazy.
Sign of the times.
Yeah, unedited, that's in camera.
Wow. So I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Okay, the moment you've been waiting for, my concert photo, which isn't really a concert. Okay, so this is the next photo. This is one of my favorite photos. This is literally like, okay, 100%. You gotta have a good camera and you gotta be like good at shooting in manual. Like objectively, yes. But this is one of those ones that I was just like, that is so lucky. I was in the right place at the right time. So, if you don't know me, which you don't, I work for a church. And on Wednesday nights, they do these high-level production type sets just to get the kids excited and to get them engaged and stuff. And so, like, full-blown fog machine, lights, like running around. We did a dunk contest last night, so it's always super high energy. And so there was this one part of the song where they did strobes, and I was like, ooh, I wonder what would happen if I stood directly in line with where the strobe is coming at and see if I can get anybody's silhouette. So I cranked my shutter speed up to like some ungodly number, like 600 frames per second or something, and then really just hope for the best, because I mean, obviously it's blinking so fast I can't see what shot
just
I'm
spray
getting.
And pray.
Yes, exactly. And so the fact that I got, again, 3 heads to break it up,
with the light just coming right through,
with the light coming and silhouetting him exactly how I would have wanted it to silhouette him. Branding, our logo, is perfectly in focus, and it's like an action shot. Like his mouth is open, his profile is completely in focus. I don't know, it's just a sick shot. And like the black and white is super cool too, but I do like the blue haze just to give it a little bit more life. But yeah, I probably will never take a photo this good ever again, so I might as well quit now. But I love this photo, and I hope we're gonna print it and hang it up somewhere, because
I would print it in the office regardless.
I don't have an office. I have a guest room.
Still, I just put it up.
Yeah, so I love this one. The guy who's in it, his name's Russell. I sent it to him too. It's like his profile picture. So yes, love this one. Literally gasped when I found it on my screen, and I think I edited it like as soon as I found it.
Those are the photos that you were like, I'm editing this the next time.
Right now, yeah, like it's got to be done. So love that one. Very proud of that one.
Okay, we'll go with this one. So this one, this is the before.
Oh,
so I completely...
You're going to have to show the before so people can get it. Yeah. For sure.
So this is a photo of my sister just running through this like row of trees. I like it because one, the before and afters are like crazy different, and I didn't actually use Photoshop for it, and I thought I would have to. But I knew I wanted it to be orange and have that like really fall look to it.
Right. Because when did you take it?
This was September 20th. So obviously kind of turning to fall, but at the same time, technically it was still summer.
Yeah, yep.
So
fake fall.
Yes. Yes, Lightroom classic fall. But the reason I like this photo is because I have a whole set of them from that day. Me and I have 4 sisters.
Right.
We all went out to shoot. My sister's into photography now. She's a junior. And so I just wanted to go out and shoot with her and have her kind of like just be able to shoot. This was before she could drive, so
so have a shot to be creative and just kind of mess around.
So my sisters were just like, she was just running through the trees. There's one of her just trying to reach up and grab a leaf from a tree, but it was just fun to be able to share something that I was really passionate about with her, and I thought that she learned a lot and she had a lot of fun just being able to kind of wander around and shoot whatever. And then I just really like the photo because, again, it's like leading lines.
Yeah, the light coming through.
My sister, she's like one of my best friends, so we're like carbon copies of each other, which I think my parents hate. But I thought it was just a cool day to spend time with my sisters, kind of in my element, and have my photographic sister kind of be in her element too. So.
Well, how did you get it orange?
To be honest, I don't even remember. I think I just dragged the greens all the way over, then I dragged the yellows all the way over, and then everything just turned orange before, and I'm like, whoa.
The power of editing.
Yeah, I'm like, that's crazy. So
I like it both ways.
Yeah, I think it would. I think I have an edited version of it, more true to color. Yeah. But this was the one I posted on Instagram because I thought it would. Obviously, no grass is ever that orange, so I thought it would pop out. But
I like it. Good one. Okay, we're gonna do this one next. So this is one I actually took like literally last Saturday. So I did a surprise proposal shoot for this couple. The girl didn't know she was getting proposed to. Obviously, the guy, his name's Justin, was the one who was in contact with me. And surprise proposals are very nerve-wracking because it is a very big moment in that person's life and you don't want to screw it up. So same thing, I put my shutter speed super, super high. Obviously, this is a staged photo, but I was very nervous going into it. I was on the top of a parking garage in downtown Omaha, which you just never know if security is going to be nice or if they're going to hate you.
I don't know why there's parking garage security. I mean, I get it. But...
I paid to park there. I can be there. I'm public. Okay? Luckily, none of that happened, but so then afterwards, like, I got the proposal shot. I got him down on one knee. But then we did some, like, formal ones after that because for the gram, she wanted, like, nice photos to show it off. And this is one of those photos where it just turned out exactly how I wanted it to. And there have been so many times in my career where I'm like, I want something like this, and I go to shoot it, and my like, specs are off, my shutter speed is off, my f-stop is off, and so I don't get it. And so this was one that I was like, okay, I know what I'm doing, and that's a dang good photo.
Was that shot like 1.8, or what was the...
Yes. I was on my 85. So yeah. 1.8, and then also the whole gallery is available on my website, but like the building in the background gave super good depth and super good patterns and like dynamics
with the glass right
there to like because otherwise it would have just been like flat behind them, and so I really like the depth that came through in the building as well.
And it's sweet. The whole hand is in focus. And they're blurry, but you can still tell that obviously
it's them too. And in the edit, actually, this was like just an initial edit, and I sent the gallery off like literally last night. I like edited the ring to be super sparkly, so it's like, because it already is, because it's a diamond, and so I brought the vibrance all the way up, and so it's like rainbow sparkling. It's so cool. So this whole session was probably like the best I've ever shot, and was the final nail in the coffin where I was like, mirrorless is the only way to go. Like my ADD would have never, no matter how hard I would have tried to get this shot on my ADD, not a shot. So I'm very happy with that, very happy with this whole gallery, and hopefully it means I get to do more.
And you only had to move parking spots, what, 3 times?
3 times.
To get it. So.
And I had to like know my north, south, east, and west, because he like had planned that I needed to be on the west corner. Oh, so there was a lot of stress going into this. So knowing that it was worth it and I got great photos, totally worth it. Totally fun.
Sweet. All right, so this is my last photo. Yep. So I always like to save the craziest story for last. So this is just kind of a ordinary photo, whatever. This is our old mall, which has been torn down now. And they're going to put like an apartment complex or something. Of course,
because everything is apartment complexes.
Hastings is 95% apartments. But, so this is in the parking lot. This was August of 2019, so I would have been, a junior. Yeah. And I wasn't really super confident in my photography yet. I was just still kind of learning. I've basically shot sports photos and thought I was decent at that, but I wanted to go take other photos outside of sports. And so I was driving home from my girlfriend's house, and it goes right by the mall, so I was like, I'm going to pull in and take some photos of it.
Because naturally you had your camera.
Yes. If I left home without it now, I know that as soon as I left home, someone would text me, or when I would get there, they'd be like, oh, where's your camera? We have an alligator here, or like something. And I'd be like...
It's true.
So...
It's just like your cell phone now.
Yeah. But so I took this photo of just the lights and stuff, and I took some other photos of... the mall was still closed at this point, so there was like some no trespassing stuff, and it was kind of eerie or whatever. But I think you can kind of see it. So this is one of the truck's headlights. There was a truck that pulled into the parking lot and like flashed their brights at me, and so I was like, okay, is this like a cop or something?
I've been listening to true crime all morning, and this is what you're gonna have.
So I was abducted, right? They let me edit the photos while I was, so no worries.
No.
But the truck pulled in, they flashed the brights at me. I'm like, okay, probably time to go. I'm like, it was getting close to my curfew anyway, so I was like, we should probably go. Thought it was a cop. Then they started just speeding towards me, and I was probably 30 feet from my car. So I ran to my car, threw my camera just wherever, like in the passenger seat.
Hide the evidence.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know what is going on, but we gotta bounce.
We gotta get out of here.
Drove out of the parking lot.
Drove or peeled out?
Peeled. Peeled out, did a quick donut, just absolutely booked it out of there. There's a 4-way stop no matter how you exit the mall, so I'm a law-abiding citizen.
Obviously.
Except when it comes to speed limit. But I stopped. They stopped right behind me, and they were like literally probably a foot of distance between us. I start going down our main like 12th Street. I start taking all these weird turns. They're just following me at every step.
No.
And then they start honking at me. They start like shouting. I couldn't hear what they were saying, but then they...
I swear if this is Devin Ackles pulling one of his stunts.
No. So we're on a residential road. It's like speed limit's 25. I'm going like 40 probably. They speed up next to me, roll down their windows. They're like, we have a gun. I was like, what? I was like, I just started crying. I was like so scared.
I would have peed myself.
So I call my parents and I was like, Mom, these people are following me and they're yelling at me and all this stuff. So I was trying to just like throw them off somehow. We got down on...
What did your mom say?
My mom was like, what do you mean? And I just started breaking down. I'm like, Mom, these people are following me.
I'm about to be killed.
Yeah. And so we got down to a more like busy part of town, but it's like 10 p.m. on like a Tuesday. So there's not that many cars out. So I go into the right turn lane. They go behind me. Light turns green. I turn left, and they're still just like following me. Now we're on a 2-lane road. So
Stress.
Yeah. My house is close to the Walmart in Hastings, and so I was calling them, and they're like, come to Walmart, we'll pick you up there, and we'll like deal with it. So we drive all the way to Walmart while they're following me, honking at me, yelling at me.
Possibly waving a gun.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I'm freaking out.
Oh, yeah.
So I get into the Walmart parking lot, I start rolling down the windows, there's people walking out, and I'm like, please help me, please help me, please help me. My dad finally gets there, I pull in, and they just speed out. And then now people are starting coming to help after they're already gone or whatever. And then...
People suck.
Yeah. But so apparently someone stopped them like as they were coming out, and they said like, we thought that was Pablo. We just wanted to talk. He's our buddy or something. And then so they just drove off or whatever. But I
can't believe you would like this photo after that.
No, I think it's kind of cool. Like, the color in it is kind of cool, but it was the most terrifying thing I've ever had happen to me while taking a photo. And so my parents were like, you're not going out to take photos at night anymore. It was just the wildest thing that ever happened to me. Literally like 10 seconds after this photo.
You were in a near abduction experience.
And I don't think they probably had a gun or were...
They're probably stupid teenagers, but still, to pull that...
I was like, this is horrifying.
You could have called the cops on them, 100%.
I was going to drive to the police station, but my parents were like, just drive to Walmart and we'll meet you there. And so...
Were your parents stressed when they got there?
Yeah. It was... When my dad finally pulled up next to me, I like...
Right, like all the adrenaline wears off.
Everything just fell out of me, and I was like, I just want to go home.
Wow.
So that's the story behind this kind of basic...
No, it's not basic, because I was going to ask, did you do long exposure, or did you just get lucky and got that nice flare?
I think it was pretty slow. I think it might have been like 1/50 or something, but it wasn't... I didn't have a tripod.
Yeah, you would have had to, because, I mean, even the ground is lit up, so...
Yeah.
Nice.
So...
Great photo, horrible experience.
Yeah.
So sorry that happened to you.
Traumatizing.
Honestly,
I have not driven since.
That's not true at all. God. Okay, my last story is my best story as well. And it's like kind of a sad story, but a good story. So I kind of cheated. This is actually from one of the weddings I filmed, but when I deliver the wedding or before I deliver the wedding videos, I usually get stills, which is just a screenshot, a high quality screenshot. But still, I had to shoot in manual, okay, so I don't want to hear it. It's still shot in manual. It's still a photo.
It is still a picture, yeah.
If I sent you this file, it would say .jpeg, which means it qualifies for this show. So anyways, so this was a wedding I shot last summer, and obviously this is not a dress you would see in 2022. So I had known this wedding was going to be really special and really important when I had booked it. So the girl who's getting married is actually a really good photographer and really good friend of mine out of Kearney. Her name's Haley. And she had shot with me earlier that year and then booked me for her wedding, which is always super fun. Like, if you get to shoot for your friends, like, you work like 10 times as hard and it's way more fun. The day's way more fun. And it's way
less stressful, even though you're working harder.
Yeah, because I don't know, there's just something that clicks. Like, when it's something that, like, someone that you love, you're like, I'm going to kill this. So, all that to say, so we had been friends, and I had known that her mom had passed away from cancer. I don't know necessarily how long ago before that, but it hadn't been too long. And so it was really important for her to wear her mom's wedding dress for the first look with just her dad. And so she didn't tell anyone she was going to do this, I think, except maybe her cousin or her bestie or someone. And so she's wearing her late mom's wedding dress, which she had, like, steamed. Like, I have some really cool shots of it getting steamed and getting all prepped. And then the lady's hands that you see in the photo are her grandma's hands. And I, again, can't remember if it's mom's mom or dad's mom, but I don't remember. But grandma didn't know she was putting it on either. So we told grandma that she was going to get a first look with Haley in the house. And so we kind of, like, put her where we needed her to be. And then Haley walked out in her mom's wedding dress. And her grandma just looked at her like, what are you, like, it took a little bit for it to click. But once she did, she just thought it was so sweet. And I have another great photo of Haley in front of her grandma. And her grandma's right here. And then I'm behind grandma. And she's a grandma, like, she's probably in her 80s, and she's got her little iPhone out like this, and so you can see Haley in frame in the photo, and you can see grandma. Oh my gosh, it was such a sweet photo. Maybe I should have picked that one. But anyways, so since these old style wedding dresses have all these real buttons, we took her out in front of the light and had grandma, like, button her up. And so you can see in the background, like, everyone was crowded around. There wasn't a dry eye in the house. It was so sweet. And then on top of that, that was also the same day that I got to shoot with my favorite photographer of all time, Brooke Butterfield. This was the first time I got to, like, talk with her and be around her all day. And, like, her whole thing and my whole thing too is, like, we don't show up to weddings or whatever we're shooting to, like, make ourselves look good. Like, the best case scenario, people don't even know I was there. I hate when people know that I'm, like, they're taking video or taking photo or whatever, because I get all weird.
They're about to do their first kiss and you're literally right in front of the altar.
Yeah, I just am not like that. And, like, I got Haley and Monty's first kiss, but, like, this frame I'm sure meant more to Haley than a lot of the other frames I got that day. And so this just really, like, I don't know, doesn't prove that I care, but it shows that I care, that there's, like, way more to photos than aesthetically pleasing, like, lighting and aesthetically pleasing color combos. Like, this is in the entryway of a good friend of hers house. Like, and that was the other thing too, is we didn't manipulate it to where we were like, oh, well, we should wait to do this when we're at Yanny. Like, no, like,
in the middle of a field with the wind blowing.
Yeah, like, this was just a really pretty and special moment that came through on camera so well, and I'm so glad it did. Like, I love the way that the light hits on her left shoulder, but then it's contrasted on the back end. I love that grandma's hands are in focus, and, like, you can tell that it's her grandma's hands. I love the detail of the dress. And so, I don't know. It was just one of those things that when I got done shooting that day, I was like, that's why it matters. Like, that's why I do what I do. It's not because I want my Instagram to look good. It's not because I want my name to be the photographer. Like, I documented Haley's day the best I could, and my shot showed it.
Boom.
Mic drop. Nice.
Too bad it's on that tripod. Well, that does it for episode 2 of Behind the Photo. I'm done with my bubbler. You clearly... I
can't be because I drank too much coffee this morning and I'll get the shakes.
It's fair.
So
but
I'm sipping it.
If any of you guys want to be on, go ahead and leave a comment.
Really intense screening process here.
Yes, it is high level
security.
Stuff. Yeah, you'll have to go through my agent, a whole big thing. But other than that, it was great to have you on.
Thank you for having me on. First professional interview I've ever done, so
I'm glad to be the
hopefully I did it well.
interviewer. So go follow her at AA. Is it just AA Productions?
Yes.
Yeah.
AA Productions.
AA Productions, not Alcoholics Anonymous.
We had a branding thing at the beginning, but we're working on it.
It's over now. So
it's over now. The logo, it's a real thing.
With that, we will see you guys later.
You don't do the thing where you go. Yeah, so cool, so trendy.